Gormley, and I'm going to be reading today from my upcoming release, Saugatuck Summer, which is going to be released on May 19th next month. Of course, May 19th is next month. I've actually got two excerpts here, and I wasn't sure which one to choose, and then it turned out that both of them were still under my time frame, so I might actually just go one right into the other. The situation here is that my main character, Topher, has been having an affair with his best friend's married, closeted father, and now they're coming to the end of the affair, which they've kind of known needed to happen all along. I needed to get up and do my morning swim so I could get to work, but first we had to talk. I was trying to come up with the words to tell Brendan we were done when his sigh ruffled my hair. Adele and Morgan will be here this weekend. Yeah, my fingers traced lazy patterns on his chest. It's another sigh. I don't know how to say this without sounding crass, which really isn't how I mean it, but you know it's probably not a good idea for you to be here while they're here. Yeah, I know. I've been trying to figure out my options there. I'll call around today, see if any of the local B&Bs have a vacancy. If not, I'll get you a room at a motel or maybe the Dunes. I'll come see you when I can get away. Everything within me went tight and cold, hurting like I'd just been impaled on a shard of ice. I jerked my head off his chest. What? I stared at him in disbelief, adrenaline kicking in. My breath came short and shallow, my heart racing with the sickening flood of anxiety that always precedes a confrontation. I know it's not ideal, but it's better than running the risk of letting something slip. I would not cry. I would not cry. I rolled out of his arms and off the bed, storming out of the bedroom and down the stairs to gather up the clothes I'd left scattered around the living room the night before. Topher, Brendan came hopping out on one foot, nearly tripping as he hastily pulled on a pair of pajama bottoms. Come on, Topher, I'm doing the best I can here. It's only for a few weeks. I don't know what you... Get out of my way, I snarled when he stood on the stairs one rise above me, blocking my progress. I clutched my clothes in front of my nude body like a shield, trying to hide the way I was shaking. The best thing I could say about that morning was that he did as I demanded, standing aside to let me pass. But he chased after me as I rushed for my room in the attic. Topher, just stop. What is it? What is it? What is it? I began dumping clothes out of the dresser drawers, snatching them on as quickly as I could before hauling my suitcase and large duffel out of the closet. I would not cry. I would not cry. Brendan, what was the only fucking thing I asked from you that first night? Do you remember? He blinked, scrubbing a hand through his tousled hair. You asked me to respect you, which I do. I'm just trying to... Oh, really? I gave him a sneer as I threw wadded clothes into my bags and began slamming about, looking for odds and ends I might have missed. That's what you call this? You offer to put me up like your personal rent boy in some no-tell motel and promise to drop by every few days for a booty call while your wife's in town, and you don't think that's demeaning? Well, fuck you! What do you expect me to do, toss you out on your ass? I paused to give him a long, injured look. At least that would have been honest. So, according to you, discarding you like I don't give a shit is less demeaning than trying to take care of you. He folded his arms across his chest, leaning a bare shoulder against the door jamb. He was positioning himself like he was looking down at me, like he was the only reasonable one, patiently and maturely waiting out my tantrum, and I fucking hated him for it, condescending jackass. I never asked you to take care of me. This is exactly what I didn't want. You promised me. I shook my head, my eyes burning as I turned my attention back to packing. I jerked the zipper of my suitcase so hard I'm surprised I didn't pull the damn tab off. Let's be honest, You're not trying to take care of me, you're trying to take care of you. You want to have your respectable, white-bread, married, straight family life as well as your faggy brown boy toy on the side, and seriously, fuck that shit. I trusted you, Brendan. I trusted you to respect me enough not to pull something like this, not to keep me dangling along so you could have it both ways without giving up anything. He gave me an incredulous look. You want me to give up my family? No, but you don't get to have it all. None of us do. We agreed this was wrong. We agreed this needed to stop. We've been clear on that from the very beginning. Why couldn't you just have left it at that? So you're upset that I didn't dump you? Oh, fucking hell. How did this once intelligent man get so damned clueless? Oh, for fuck's sake, get over yourself. Hate to break it to your boyfriend, but you are not all that. I'm upset because you think you can play games with me, and that is so not going to happen. I'm fucking better than that. He rubbed his forehead as though he had a headache brewing. I don't understand you, Topher. I don't get why you'd think I was doing that. Yeah, well, there's your first problem. You don't get it. You can't even see what you did. You're going to sit here today and you're going to convince yourself that you were right and I was unreasonable, and you won't even think about what you just tried to make me into. But hey, I hauled my backpack over my shoulder, then the strap of my laptop case. The strap of my duffel bag hung over those two, and fuck did all that weight on my shoulder hurt. I wheeled my suitcase behind me, my progress awkward, bulky, and off balance, and glared at Brendan until he stepped aside to let me bump down the stairs. I'd have to make another trip for my keyboard, damn it. It's not my problem now. You do what you want. I'm gone. He sighed and reached for my suitcase. Will you at least let me help you down the stairs? Fuck off. I'd rather break my neck than let him give me a second of assistance. Topher, come on. Now he sounded annoyed, and seriously, fuck him. He didn't get to be pissy over this. I turned around and gave him a withering look. Be sure you clear the lube out of the bedside table before you bang your wife in that room. It's a dead giveaway. I knew he must have been watching me from the house as I stacked my shit in my car, but he didn't try to talk to me again when I made my second trip to get my keyboard. Feeling his gaze on me, I kept my head down and refused to wipe my eyes until after I'd driven away. And the second bit is just a few days later, when Brendan comes looking for Topher. That Friday was the day before Mo and her mom were due to arrive for the week of the 4th. At that point, I'd been staying with Robin and Jeff for 4 days. Brendan had tried calling me a number of times, and I always ignored the calls and deleted the messages without listening to them. I'd worked this morning doing inventory at the art gallery, and now I had the afternoon to myself before heading to the tattoo parlor in the evening to help clean everything up. Feeling flush with my second paycheck deposited in my bank account, I treated myself to lunch and went for a walk around town. I was turning off Culver Street to pass through Coughlin Park, heading down to the boardwalk when Brendan jogged up behind me. Hey, the guy you were working for at the art gallery said you were out and about. I'm glad I found you. Gee, that makes exactly one of us, I muttered, not bothering to look at him. Say, don't you have a wife to go bone? You knew I was married all along, Topher. He sounded weary, as though I were being bothersome, jackass. Yeah, I did. Trust me, I'm fully fucking aware of my own stupidity. You couldn't have thought I'd break up my marriage for this. You have no idea what I thought because you never bothered to ask me. I tried to throw as much scorn as I could into the glance I tossed over my shoulder at him. I also walked faster, trying to keep him behind me. I wanted him to have to trot to keep up, like I was too busy to stop for him. Dirty little secrets apparently don't get consulted on that sort of thing. He groaned, and it was gratifying to hear him puffing to keep up the pace. Guess all that easy living in academia had made him a bit soft. Okay, so if you didn't think I was going to, I don't know, leave my wife for you or whatever, then what are you so pissed about? I've already risked way too much here as it is. If anyone finds out, my marriage is over and my daughter will probably never speak to me again. I went out on a limb to be with you. What do you want? I whirled on him. How about some human fucking dignity, you piece of shit? Just because I knew all along, it doesn't mean it's not completely degrading to just be swept under the rug, or should I say into the closet, the second your real life shows up. I growled and stalked away, muttering a rapid-fire rant to myself. I should just start screwing women. At least they set aside a drawer for their sex toys when they want to keep them out of sight. Of course, they don't actually offer to get their toys a room at a B&B, so maybe I should be flattered. Oh, now you're just being dramatic. He had to jog to catch up. Well, duh, hello, drama queen here. For Christ's sake, Topher, will you just slow down so I can talk to you? I dropped my voice a little. The boardwalk was crowded today. I don't know what you think we have to say to each other, but I'd really rather not. The grass underneath my feet gave way to the weathered planks, each footstep making more noise. Topher, I want you to apply to state next year. You can stay with me and I could help with your tuition. I turned to stare at him incredulously. Oh, so much for not risking your marriage. Brilliant. So now you want me to be your fucking houseboy? Brendan shrugged uncomfortably. You're Morgan's best friend. It wouldn't be hard to sell it as an honorary family member type of deal. Adele and Morgan would think it was a great idea, a really nice thing to do. No one would need to know about the rest of it. Wow. Talk about adding insult to injury. I let every ounce of bitter derision I could muster drip from my next words. And what would my senior thesis be about? The texture of your bedroom ceiling? I imagine I'd be getting some good long looks at it. That would be the price for this act of charity, yes. Please, can you stop being such a bitch for 2 fucking minutes? Jesus. He ran his hand through his hair, clenching his fingers near his scalp. I gave him a scathing look and turned away. Fuck you, you're not queer enough to call me a bitch. Oh, what? So because I'm not going to leave my wife for you, I don't even qualify as bisexual? You could, but you're not. The only thing that kept me from trying to outpace him again was the crowd and the fact that I was afraid someone would overhear. And just why is that? Because to call a spineless, wishy-washy closet case like you bi would be an insult to bi folk everywhere. I shook my head in disgust. You're a fucking stereotype, you know that? Bisexuals are fighting to get rid of the misperception of themselves as being greedy and on the fence, and here you are undoing all that. Shit, Topher, come on! He grabbed my biceps and I turned, looking at his hand with as much haughty disdain as I could manage. The worst part was he actually did sound genuinely distressed. I'll give you what I can, but you can't ask me to completely turn my life upside down for you. That would be selfish for both of us. If it were just me, it'd be one thing, but we're talking about Morgan's life too. It wouldn't be fair. Let go of me right now, or I swear I'll shove your flabby white ass right in the fucking lake. Shit, now people were beginning to stare. Let's get one thing straight, pun fully intended. I'm not asking for a fucking thing from you. I didn't cut myself off from my family's attempts to control me with money just to become your piece of ass with an allowance on the side. You had your chance to at least treat me with respect to another human being, if not someone you actually care about, and you blew it. You don't have anything I want. Go away. He sighed and dropped his hand, bowing his head. I do care about you. I miss you, Topher. We can work something out. Just think about it, please. My eyes began to burn. God damn it. I blinked, trying to push back the urge to cry. No, there's nothing to think about. God knows I'm pretty much a black hole where self-respect is concerned, but I think I can manage at least this much. I wanted to think I was special enough for you to respect me, not just want me, but all you can do is make me hate myself, and what fucking pisses me off the most is you're so goddamn self-absorbed, that thought never even occurred to you. That's why there is no way this is happening. You are special. Jesus, I wish he'd stop using that tender tone, the one he'd used in bed on too many dark nights, the one that sometimes made me think he'd fallen a little bit in love with me. I wish things were different, or that I could offer you more, but I can't. And you still think this is not what you can offer me. That's why there's nothing left to say. My voice and throat felt tight. Thanks for letting me stay at your beach house this summer, but it's time I found some place of my own. He looked like he wanted to argue again, but finally his shoulders dropped in defeat. He reached for his back pocket and pulled out his wallet. Will you do me a favor? At least take this and use it for tuition. He held out a personal check. Re-enroll at GVSU or wherever you want to go. Just call me sometime if you change your mind. Just like that, the grief and remorse was gone, and I was back to rage. I snatched his check from his hand, sneering at a dollar figure large enough to cover 2 years' worth of books and tuition. So is this hush money, a payoff, an attempt to show me what you can offer, or is it payment for services rendered? I asked bitterly, glaring at him a moment before I began to shred the damn thing with jerky pulls. Fuck you. It was never about money. I'll be your dirty secret, and I'll even do it for free, but I won't be your whore.